Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to make apple pie. I've been using this recipe since I was 15 years old, so basically for a very long time, and it's super easy to follow. First we will make the crust, so in a big bowl add all-purpose flour or plain flour. We are also adding 3 tablespoons of white sugar. You can adjust this if you want it to be sweeter, so just add a little bit more if you want. We're also adding in 1 teaspoon of salt and mix it until it's evenly combined. For the butter, we're using unsalted butter, but if you only have salted butter, that is totally fine too, but you'd probably need to reduce the added salt so it wouldn't be too salty. We need 1 1/4 cup or 300 grams of butter. The packaging has a weight guide to help you if you don't have a weighing scale, but it's still better to weigh it, to be honest. Cut it into cubes like this, then add it into the dry ingredients. Use your hands to mix the butter and pour 1 cup of cold water. The amount of water that you might need though, depending on the brand of flour that you use, it could be different, so you might need to add a bit more water if it's too dry. I suggest adding 1 tablespoon at a time so that you don't add too much water. Keep kneading until it becomes a ball like this. Now we need to divide the dough ball into 2 parts, so we just need to cut around 1/4 for the lettuce. If you're confused about what I'm talking about, it's this part here. This is the lettuce. So the big portion is for the bottom crust, and the smaller portion that we cut earlier is for the top part of the pie. We're using Glad Wrap to cover our dough, and now it's ready. We will put it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes to harden the butter. By the way guys, if you want the full recipe, please check it out on lilacdiaries.com. Also, if you have any requests of what I should make next, please leave in the comments below and I will see it because I read all the comments. Well, I've been yapping too much, but we can actually make the apple filling and the topping while the dough is in the fridge. To make the apple filling, we will use 7 apples. If you have smaller apples, then you might need a bit more. I'm using red apples, but you can also use green as well, so we just peel our apples. Remove the core and the seed and then slice them like this. Add about 1/2 cup of white sugar or brown sugar and sprinkle cinnamon on top, and we will mix it to combine. We're adding 1/4 cup of water, but we don't really need to add too much because it will become more watery anyways when it starts boiling. So we'll cook the apples until it's soft, but not too soft, so just enough. Once it's ready, remove it from the heat and set it aside to cool for now. We will move on to the toppings. Melt 1/2 cup of butter in a saucepan over low heat, and once it melts, add in flour to form a paste. We're adding 3 tablespoons of flour, and I'm just using all-purpose flour. It's gonna look a bit dry, but don't worry because we will still add 1 full cup of water and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Then keep mixing it until it's fully combined. Don't overcook it though, it might dry out too much. Remove it from the heat and set it aside for now. Grab the dough that has been sitting in the fridge so we can start making the crust. Sprinkle some flour on a clean table or any surface and flatten the dough using a rolling pin. If the dough is too hard, just give it a few minutes and it should be softer to work with. We will keep doing this until the flattened dough is wide enough to cover a 9-inch circular baking pan. So place it on the baking pan and tuck it on the sides. Use scissors to cut off the extra bits on the edges. And we'll grab the smaller piece of dough and flatten it as well. It should be big enough to cover a 9-inch pan, and it will be a bit thinner than the crust, which is totally fine. Cut it into long strips like this. And before we arrange our pie, let's preheat the oven first to 200 degrees Celsius or 392 degrees Fahrenheit so we don't have to wait later. To assemble our pie, it's very easy. We'll fill the crust with cooked apples. I know other recipes, they don't require you to boil apples, but I just find that it's much nicer when it's boiled and it comes out more evenly cooked. Spread the sugar and butter topping that we made earlier on top of the apples. Arrange the strips of dough to form a lattice crust on top of the apples like this. You will have to kind of just weave it, so I'm just putting the crust on top of the other crust like this, and then repeat it until it's fully covered. Cut off the extra dough once you're done, then use your fingers to pinch the edges to seal it and of course to make it look a bit prettier. For the egg wash, I mixed 1 egg yolk and 1 tablespoon of water. Brush it on top of the pie. This is optional though. I just like doing this to make it more shiny. Look at that! Now it's ready and we will pop it in the oven. Bake it for 15 minutes in the preheated oven. After this, reduce the temperature to 175 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit, then continue baking for 35 to 45 minutes until it's fully cooked and the crust is golden brown. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and follow Lilac Diaries on Instagram, TikTok and Facebook for more updates. See you in the next video.